The film is about really the relationship between two men, and two men from two different perspectives that are both trying to hold on to something, and and about them trying to navigate a relationship that's not easy. There's this beautiful cluelessness to Laird that James is embracing. They're both embracing things that don't make them cool, but it's the thing that they think makes them cool. You know, and James is really doing, like, Laird's just, he swears like a sailor, and he doesn't know any better. But James is bringing this kind of charm, and the charm and the virtue are they're balanced. The virtue being he never lies. Laird never ever lies. It's an admirable thing for a guy to go, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to try to make internal changes in myself for this person who I love. Because that's love. That's sacrifice. I waited up and I cooked all these meals and I did all this. That's not sacrifice. Sacrifice is making like a fundamental internal change in your being, changing habits. That's, to me, love. You can palpably see the frustration. And the way he's doing it is he's being polite, but he's always simmering the right way at the right time. He's so good. So sometimes in the beginning of the movie, you know, the heat's at a 3, and then in the middle of the movie, it's like at a, you know, like a 5.2, and then right before the explosion, the literal explosion happens, you know, he's right at a 10. And the way I've been watching it, because people know you don't shoot movies in order. So watching him go, oh, today I'm at a 6. Later I'm going to be at a 3. You know, like the way it's just beautiful. It's like watching a master, because he just, it's, you see in his mind, he knows exactly what energy level he needs to be at. Gustav is the estate manager for the compound that Laird lives on. He's not just the person who runs the household and runs the business and makes sure that everybody has what they need, because it makes it sound like he's just a glorified butler, but he's also Laird's spiritual leader. He's also Laird's best friend, because Laird had a very dicey upbringing and kind of doesn't know how to interact with the world in the best possible way. He was pretty much locked in a room when he was 13 years old to write code. Barely finished high school. So Gustav has taken Laird under his wing and is trying to nurture him into adulthood the best way he can. I like John Hamburg's movies, and the reason I like John Hamburg's movies is because you can read a script that's really broad and has really crazy comedy in it, and John has a way of anchoring it and grounding it so that the viewer, the moviegoer, is watching the movie and saying, what is that? That can't happen in real life. But that looks like that could happen in real life, because he makes sure that the actors are, it's acting. It's not blah, no one's doing any kind of Jerry Lewis kind of stuff. And the other thing that attracted to me is there's a lot of fun physical comedy in this piece, which is my favorite kind of comedy. From an actor's point of view, this has been a dream. A 26-minute take where you get to just feel it and feel it, that's not a nightmare. That's glorious, you know, because you get to feel it out. You get to feel it out. We did a 46-minute take one day, and it'll all feel flowy when it comes together. I just know it will. John and his writing partner, Ian Helfer, they've been incorporating things that we've been improvising. And I've never been in a movie, ever involved in a production, where I have heard a director say, okay, let's return around, because in the improvisation, there's been new stuff that I know I want to use in the edit. Turn the cameras back around. And you typically don't get to do that. And that's, my eyes started to sparkle, and I went, we have the luxury of doing that? He said, no, don't get carried away. You see Ned, the character, but you can see Brian in his brain going, if I add this, that enhances something we need to know later. If I improvise this, we're teeing up a point that's going to get made later, or I'm enhancing something that came before. He's a very smart cinematic improviser in that way. The editor's gonna go, oh, Cranston, you know, he said that, so now I can put this into the cut. And I would like to think that I'm learning from him in that regard, that sometimes you just improvise and you just kind of go, and everybody on the crew had a great time, but can we use that in the edit for the film? And so he's such a smart improviser that way. the one thing that I enjoy the most is that everybody has been creating an environment for fun and for creativity. Nobody's taking their comedy too seriously, if you know what I mean. And then also James and I have become kind of like kindred spirits. Like we don't speak often, and then when we do, I feel a real. I don't want to sound like a super hippy dippy guy, but I feel a real connection to him. And I'm a very kind of demonstrative, gregarious person. He's much more quiet and thoughtful. But when we're together, I feel like I'm with another artist. They both have lovely instincts as actors. And he's 15, she's 21. They're young and they've got nothing but their life ahead of them. And both of them are actually a little wise beyond their years, which Griffin's certainly a more sophisticated 15-year-old than I was. And they bring so much to the film. They enhance the film. And I buy the four of them as a family. Megan and Brian and Zoe and Griffin are terrific. It's basically the Pink Panther, Inspector Clouseau / Kato 2.0. And I'm involved in that scene. It's probably one of the biggest reasons I said yes to the movie. And so there's these great there's I mean a tank full of gallons and hundreds of gallons of water explodes and floods an entire living room. There's a drone, a scene where a guy's running away from a drone and starts firing rocks at it. There's all this parkour and people running into statues and falling. It's amazing. There's helicopter scenes. There's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. I want people to be laughing and crying and laughing and crying and laughing and crying, so that they go, oh God, I hope that this all can work out. If people could just let go of what's fettering them, then we'll get to a place where there's a new freedom. And then you can enjoy each other in amazing ways. I mean, that not just the movie, but just that's a message I think humans should have.